When I was a kid, I loved cars. Still do. The 57 Cadillac Eldorado Brabham was the most advanced car in the world. Cost more than a Rolls. Hand-built with a stainless steel roof, cruise control, electric seats, and would you believe, air suspension. American iron. It's a passion Shannons understand. That's why they insure my daily drive, the caddy, my bike, even the house.
Call Shannons on 13 46 46. Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts.
Gasolene is proudly brought to you by Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts, and the following sponsors. I'm Michael Curzon, producer, creator of Gasolene. Hope you enjoy. Welcome back to Gasolene, viewers. We're at the 2012 Sandown Historics. This is a massive event and I'd never miss it year after year. There's all those classics, muscle cars and some awesome historic race cars that we all love. Group A, Group C, Group NB and Group NC. Formula 5000 and much, much more. So let's get into it and check out some of these cars. Formula 5000 viewers, this is my all-time favourite class. Small block, production-based V8s in what looks like a Formula 1 race car of the era. My memory of these cars right here at Sandown lining up on the grid in the mid-70s will never leave me. It was like roaring thunder. It made people cheer, it made children cry. It was frightening, it was violent, and it's racing like you'll never see in your entire life. This is definitely one you don't want to miss, so sit tight and listen to these things scream. We're back in the pits here with Paul Zazon and his Formula 5000 Lola T332. Mate, you were flying out there, all of a sudden something went wrong. What happened?
We lost second gear, so we were running quite a tall third, so it just wouldn't come out of the tight corners. So it's a long way round.
You going to get the car going again?
Yeah, we'll get it going. Throw something at it and get back out there and try and give the boys a run this afternoon.
I saw you guys were playing with the transaxle assembly there. They look like a pretty complex thing, but from what I can see, it looks like you know it back to front. You might have done this a few times before.
Unfortunately, you're correct. Yeah, you get to know them fairly intimately. They're a bit of a boy doing a man's job. They're the weak link in the chain. So, you get to know them fairly intimately.
You're talking about a massive amount of power and torque, huge traction with those tyres, and that transaxle has to really cop a lot of punishment, doesn't it?
It does. It takes all the load, and as you say, big tyres, big horsepower, and fairly aggressive driving. So, they cop a bit.
Can you tell us a little bit about the engine in this car, the power plant? What is the base engine? Is it Chevy small block? And tell us how much power it makes and how hard you rev them.
Chevy small block. It's got a lot of the lightweight gear in it, so it's making about 550 horsepower. We spin it about 8.5. And good engine, sound great, and go quite hard.
And how much does the car weigh?
The car weighs 60 kilos.
Wow.
So it's a fair sort of power to weight ratio.
So in your average family sedan, that's about the equivalent to around about 1,1600 horsepower.
Yes.
I bet you never thought of that, did you?
Yeah, that'd get moving, yeah.
You probably thought about when your eyeballs were going flat out in the back of your head, but it's unreal, isn't it?
Oh, they're good fun to drive. They are. They're the ultimate weapon.
Great, mate. Well, great talking to you. Get back into it. Get that transaxle together, and we'll see you back out in the track.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thanks, mate. Thank
Bye.
You. Now here's an event to mark on your calendar for 2013, the Gasolene Muscle Car Expo. There's never been an event like this one, where some of Australia's very best concourse American and Australian muscle cars come together under one roof. Also featured by special invitation, barn finds, street machines, special interests and 50s classics. So if you want to see the best of the best and cars you've never seen before all under one roof, then this is the show for you. 12th to 14th of July 2013, Royal Exhibition Buildings in Melbourne. Don't miss it. And don't forget, viewers, to look up the all-new Shannons Club. Shannons Club is a huge site. It's like a hub for enthusiasts. You jump on there, you can start your own garage, put pictures of your cars up there, stories of your cars, videos, you name it. You'll see people like myself on there, Jim Richards. Click on our garages and check out some of our machines and some of our past machines. It's an incredible site, it's growing every day, so get onto it and have a ball. This car beside me here is none other than the legendary Repco Brabham BT19, driven to a 1966 World Championship by none other than our own Sir Jack Brabham. It's an incredible story. In fact, it's the only car in the world to have won a World Championship bearing its driver's name. I can't see that happening in the immediate future, and I'm sure you'll agree. There's a great story with this car. The car was actually designed and built in conjunction with Jack Brabham, with his business partner, designer Ron Turnick. The other exciting thing about this car is it's an all-Australian built and designed engine by Repco right here in Melbourne, built by designers and engineers Phil Irving and Frank Hallam. It's an incredible story. Hours and hours went into the development of this actual engine. The very early engine started with a Buick-based bottom end, and then they built all the ancillaries and extras around it. In later years, it actually was the whole engine was designed and built from the ground up. It made 300 horsepower at 7,000 RPM, this angry little V8, and absolutely screamed. It was very, very reliable, went night and day, and helped Jack get that World Championship across the line. Now, some of you viewers out there might find it quite interesting to know that Jack has got a huge following in Europe, more so than Australia. I can't believe that stuff. That's incredible. Because I've got to say one thing right now, and I hope that Jack Brabham or some of his family might be out there listening to this. Jack, you are my hero. What you achieved as an Australian in motorsport will never, ever be equalled by anyone anywhere in the world. I've read the Jack Brabham story, an incredible read for anyone out there that wants to read it, and it's just absolutely fascinating to see what Jack went through from the lower racks right through to becoming a world champion in his own built and designed car. It's a hell of an effort, Jack. I want you to know that there's plenty of Australians out there that really do love you and appreciate what you did. And as I said, you are my hero, mate. Thank you for all those things you did. Well, we're here with Richard Fairlam and his awesomely fast EH Holden, the old Group NB machine. How's it going out there for you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. We've had a good weekend so far, yeah. Having a good old tussle with Phil. So, yeah. No.
And Phil's got the other silver EH, is that right?
EH, yep. Very quick car. Yeah.
Tell us about this little Red Hot 179. Tell us about the engine specs.
This one here at the moment now's running a set of SR20 rods and some 4G pistons. Head done by our good mate Eddie. And set of 45mm weavers.
What sort of RPM do you turn it to, and do you have any idea of what sort of power it's making?
At the moment it's only around 130 kilowatts rear tyres.
At the wheels?
At the tyres, yeah.
It'd be safe to say that it's probably making somewhere around 220, 230 horsepower at the flywheel?
Oh, you'd have to say that, yeah. Yep. So,
and what's it like with the old 3 on the tree? The ratios probably aren't the ultimate ratios, are they?
Lovely, good fun, mate. You should come and have a burn in this car.
I'd love to.
Yeah, no, we $3,000 at turn 4 there. Anything under that's not very happy, but $3,000 there, it's all good. But yeah, we're used to it. Sails along quite nicely.
Now, you and I go back a long way, the old HQ racing days. We had a lot of awesome tussles there, some great racing. Yeah. Never touched each other. No. Always had some really good, honest racing out there, didn't we? That's
right. We had a good time, mate, yeah. Well, as you say, very close racing.
The old HQs are a really good training ground, though, aren't they, to learn racecraft and learn car setup?
Oh, yeah, all the guys which have come out of Qs, most definitely gone to other classes, like a lot of guys in Group N here at the moment. You know, they're coming out of Qs and they normally do a good job.
Mate, it's so good to see you out here. I love these EH Holdens. They're a real Aussie icon. Looks like having a ball out there, and I can't wait to see you in the next race.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Thanks very much, and thanks for the interview.
My pleasure, mate. Good to see you.
See ya.
Thank you. Well, you all know I love my historic touring cars. And behind me here, you've got the under 3 litre category. The early Group NB cars and your Group NC. We've got Datsun 1600s. We've got Alphas. We've got EH Holdens. Cooper S's. There's a whole host of early and late model under 3 litre cars here, and it creates some of the most exciting racing you'll ever see. So stay tuned, you're going to love this one, folks. Well, we're back at Rocket Industries, and with over 60,000 high-performance part numbers on the shelf in here, I'm like a kid in a candy store. So let's get into it and check out some of these parts. Then there's the next component down the line, the conrod. These I-beam conrods here are very similar to what you'd see in a standard conrod design in most factory engines, although these have been upgraded. As an example, we've got this scat conrod here with a basic type ARP conrod bolt. This will support something like 400 to 450 horsepower in your average V8 application. Then we go to these beautiful Kayleys here. These are an I-beam rod too, with a better style of ARP bolt. These will actually support somewhere around 6 to 650 horsepower. But it's not all about horsepower, it's about RPM too. A conrod turning to 8,000 RPM will be under a lot more stress than a conrod turning to, say, 6,000 RPM. So a lot of it is determined by the engine capacity and size and its power production level and RPM requirements. Then we go to this baby here, the H-beam, and these Kayleys are a beautiful looking piece of gear. Upgraded ARP bolts, of course, in this H section here, which adds a lot more strength to the conrod. As an example, I've actually chosen a H-beam style conrod for Project Warhorse, my Cleveland, because it'll be a severe duty application, circuit racing, high RPM all the time. I want that thing to last. Or you might want to build a twin turbo V8 and produce 1,000 horsepower. The H-beam is definitely the rod you would choose for that application. Then we've got crankshafts here. To download your free copy of the Rocket Industries and Aeroflow Performance Parts catalogues, go to the sponsor section at the Gasolene website. Click on the links and download away. With over 650 combined pages of performance parts and accessories, you're sure to find everything you need for your car.
Stay tuned for more Gasolene.
Well, here I am in my dad's toy shed with his pride and joy, these two beautiful cars here. This absolutely magnificent 68 Chevy Camaro and this beautifully concourse restored 66 GT fastback Mustang. They're awesome cars, and occasionally Dad throws the keys to me and lets me take them for a drive if I'm a good boy, and I love them. But I want to talk to you about storing your cars, storing them away with fuel. Now, fuel can become an issue if it's stored for any great length of time. What can happen is it can actually react with the outside elements, which create oxidization and affect the molecules and compounds within the fuel and make the engine run very poorly when you go to start it up for that very first time after she's been sitting. One of the other problems you get too is residues and varnishes building up. It creates havoc like you wouldn't believe, blocking up your fuel system, your fuel lines, carburetor, or if it's an EFI car, your fuel injectors. And that's definitely a no-no. Now, some of you might say, okay, well, how about if we drain the fuel tank? Let's get that fuel right out of the system. The problem is with that, you can't get rid of every bit of fuel in there. There will be some residue, some fuel will still stay in the lines, carburetor, or where have we, and that will still create varnish and residue build-up. The other drama is too that when that fuel's out of that tank, you've got an open atmosphere which can create corrosion within the tank itself. And that is going to create a world of hell for you when you go to fire that car up again. But you know what? There is a fantastic solution. This product here called Stable. This is awesome stuff, believe me. Used it for many, many years. You add this into your fuel tank, the correct ratio to a given amount of fuel, and what it does, it actually protects the fuel in the car. It'll actually make the fuel last up to 12 months. It'll be just like it came straight out of the fuel refinery, and the car will run like an absolute dream. It has protective inbuilt wrappers, which almost act like a shield to cover the molecules to make sure they don't come in contact with any nasties in the outside elements, keeping that fuel absolutely superb. And it also stops it from creating that varnish and residue buildup that you definitely don't want. Now, this isn't just for cars, it's for fuel in any application, whether it be your lawnmower, your boat, your chainsaw, or even your whippersnipper, jet ski, whatever it be. Even a snowmobile, you can use this. 2-stroke and 4-stroke applications. Works like a charm. So basically, after that period of time, no matter what it may be, whether it be 2 months or 12 months, jump in that car, turn the key, and she's going to run like an absolute gem with Stable in the tank. Well, here we are back with Kevin Stoopman and his extremely fast HQ 308 four-door sedan. Mate, this thing is so damn fast. I'm so surprised that it's up the front of the field, considering you've got a major disadvantage with a little 308 in there compared to some of these big cube V8s out there.
Yeah, I think everybody underestimates how well the HQ Holden actually handles, Glenn. You've driven them yourself, of course, many, many years ago. The cylinder heads are the original cast iron cylinder head, so that's probably the biggest restriction. But the car getting through the corners and getting out of the corners is extremely quick. We've had 2 years of perseverance of DNF, so yeah, this weekend's fantastic.
Well, I've got to be honest, I kept my old HQ racer and my plan was to run it many years ago, and I just had nightmares. I'd wake up at about 12 o'clock every night dreaming about Aussie 4-speed gearboxes flying apart, but you seem to have solved that problem.
Well, we've had a couple of breakages, but we're running the Fitzner gear set in ours, and he's actually trying to improve third gear again for us. So at the moment, providing you drive the car nicely, keep it on the ripple, off the ripple strips and on the black stuff, it hangs in there pretty well and does a good job.
Now, mate, I see another yellow HQ GTS here, and they tell me you bought that car from Shannons. What are you doing, collecting HQs?
Well, I was actually at the Shannons for something totally different, and would you believe they pushed that out? And of course, being the exact matching paint job as the race car, I saw the new, I was going home with it and it was going to cost me money. But look, we brought it here today. It was great to drive it in and drive it home, and I've got a full collection of spares ready to go if we have an accident.
Unbelievable, mate. It's an awesome looking car. You've got a great looking package here, race and road car. Now, a lot of people might know this, but many years ago, before you and I were born, our fathers joined forces and used to do a lot together. Your dad actually used to hot up my old man's cars, back in the Holden 6-cylinder days in the 60s, and your dad, John, had some of the quickest cars out there, didn't he, in the day?
He did. My grandfather raced sports sedans till he was 82. My father, John, raced touring cars through the 70s and did extremely well with the old Bob Jane XU1. Both his brothers had a drive. I've, of course, been going for about 30-odd years. My son's the fourth generation who's just started now. And I've got a cousin, Paul, who's the engineer for the Walkinshaw Ute team at Cameron Conville Drive. So there's a fair bit of family history in motor racing, yeah.
Talk about being in the blood, mate. Well, it's so good talking to you. Thank you very much for your time, and I can't wait to see you out there in the next race.
We're looking forward to having you out there.
Thank you. Well, viewers, this is my favourite class, the very class I'm building Project Warhorse for, my XY. Group NC and Group NB, 3 litres and over. You've got your Mustangs, your Chargers, your GT Falcons, your XU1s, even 427 Galaxies out there. The list goes on and on and on. This is going to be the most exciting racing you'll ever see in your life, so stay tight, sit in your seat and enjoy the action.
Gasoline twins, and we'll see you next week.
And remember, viewers, if you want to see past Gasoline episodes, go to shannons.com.au. Click on the Gasoline link and enjoy. And remember, this is a whole new season of Gasoline with new episodes every Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m, Australia-wide.
Gasoline is proudly brought to you by Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts, and the following sponsors. I'm Michael Curzon, producer-creator of Gasoline. Hope you enjoy.